Hi, boys and girls. We are going to do our second day of the dot today. So you need a few items. You need to find this paper in your the dot packet, and then also the page with all of these little pieces. You'll need to cut them out, so you'll need scissors, and then you need glue and a pencil to write your name. So go ahead and find those supplies and go ahead and cut out all of these little pieces. And once you're ready to begin, go ahead and press play. Okay, so you should have everything in front of you and prepared for today's lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and read our story. It's called The Dot by Peter Reynolds. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm? She said. Very funny, said Vashti. I just can't draw. Why do you think Vashti's teacher, thought she had a picture of a polar bear in a snowstorm? Why do you think? Well, if you drew a picture of a polar bear, which is white, in a snowstorm, which is also white, would you see anything on the paper? No, so her teacher was being silly. Her teacher smiled. Just make a mark and see where it takes you. Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good, strong jab. There. Do you remember yesterday when we visualized this part of the story of Vashti jabbing her paper with her marker? Do you see the red around Vashti? Remember, visualizing is like a movie in your brain after listening to a story or words or a description. This red makes me think that Vashti is angry. Maybe she's frustrated. Her teacher picked up her paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quietly said, Now sign it. That's strange. Vashti thought for a moment. Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name. The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot. She had drawn her dot, all framed in swirly gold. I can make a better dot than that. She opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and set to work. Vashti painted and painted. A yellow dot, a green dot, a red dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with the red. She discovered that she could make a purple dot. Vashti kept experimenting. Lots of little dots in many colors. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash. Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw, he said. I bet you could, said Vashti. Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. Show me. The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle, and then she said, What do you think she said? Please sign it. So she's helping the boy out just like her art teacher helped her. All right, today's skill is to retell. So our paper in front of us says, I can retell the story, The Dot. And we are going to use these little pictures and to retell our story. We're going to put them in order. And as always, I have the colored pictures with writing underneath to help us figure out what each picture is. So if you kind of just scan through your pictures, look at them. Let's see, which picture do you think is the first one? If you recall in the beginning of our story, Vashti was in art class and her paper was empty, if you'll remember that. So can you find a picture that would look like that? If you found this one, you were right. Vashti was in art class, but Vashti had not drawn anything. So let's go ahead and glue this one to number 1. All right, next, Vashti began to speak to her teacher, and her teacher told her to make a dot, and then she told her to sign it after the teacher looked at the dot. So do you see a picture that describes that? If you found this picture with the dot and it says Vashti, it says her teacher told her to make a mark and sign it, then you're right. We're going to glue that one next. What happened the next morning when Vashti came into the classroom? That's right. Her picture was hanging up, wasn't it? Her teacher had framed her paper. So we're going to put this one right here. Okay. After that, if you remember, she saw the dot and she said, I can make a better dot than that. So she opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and set to work. So can you find a picture that would describe what would happen next? Yeah, her watercolors. She got out her never-before watercolors. Vashti thought she could do better, so she made dots with watercolors. So we're going to put the watercolors next. Okay, I would like for you to use these last 4 pictures and put them in order yourself. So this picture right here is Vashti started painting lots of dots. And then this is a picture of the boy said he could not draw, so Vashti handed him a paper and asked him to show her. This one says, then she asked him to sign it. And then this one is, there was an art show at school and a young boy thought she was a great artist. So if you could, on your own, put these 4 pictures in order to retell the rest of the story. And then when you share about this picture, your retell paper in your end of module video, be sure to show closely up in the video your last 4 squares here so your teacher can check your work. All right, great job hanging in there today, guys. And I hope you have an awesome rest of the afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow for day 3 of the dot.